So we are going to talk about Big Ed and do his recap from last Sunday's episode of the 90 Day Fiance, the single life of X's and O, the episode 11. So Big Ed went to go play golf with his brother Mike and asked his brother Mike for some advice regarding him and the whole Liz situation. So Big Ed, he the server slash manager at this restaurant that he goes to frequently. He asked her out on a date, and he'd been on a few dates, and at the last date, he tried kissing her at the end of the date, and she pushed away, and he ended up kissing her on the nose, and it was just super awkward. And Liz is a 28-year-old blonde, and she's very beautiful and a hard worker, and spends majority of her time working. She's told Ed that she just got out of a bad relationship only 2 months ago, and that was her second husband, and yes, she is 28 years old, and has already been married twice. So she told Ed that she isn't ready for another relationship just quite yet. So his brother said, "I got the brutal truth for you. This sounds like a train wreck. You should be dating someone that adores you for you. When it's right, it's the easiest thing there is, and this doesn't sound easy." So Ed told his brother he's going to go to Liz's house right after they're done playing golf, and he's going to ask Liz if she sees him as a friend or if they have potential. And he said if Liz says she doesn't see him as boyfriend material, then Ed said it's a wrap and he's done. So Ed is also upset because the night before he was at the restaurant that Liz works at, and he saw Liz having drinks with another man. He said he was thinking about walking up to Liz and saying something to her, but he said he felt like he was going to be interrupting. So Ed goes to her house and explains that to her and said that he felt kind of hurt and kind of jealous. And Liz told him that he's a coworker, and if they're getting off work at the same time or going in at the same time, they'll sometimes sit down and have a drink. And Ed says this isn't the first time he's seen him and Liz, that dude she works with, and Liz hanging out and having drinks, and he can tell that guy likes Liz and said, who wouldn't like you? So Liz said she wasn't going to stop having her own life and being independent, but it was nothing and no big deal. So Liz was telling the producers that she felt like Ed didn't have a right to be jealous, but they talked through things, and that she thinks there are more feelings on her end than she thought there would ever be as her and Ed begin to hang out more and talk about things more. So Ed invited Liz to a wedding at Lake Arrowhead in a few days, and Liz agreed to go. Liz says she's never been to a wedding besides her own, and Ed thinks it's a great idea for them to be able to get a chance to maybe get romantic. So fast forward a few days, and Ed is pacing around his kitchen, all upset because it's the day before him and Liz are supposed to go to the wedding, and he keeps trying to call her, and she isn't answering, but that's not it because there's a backstory to this. I guess some stuff went down the night before, and she said she was going to go out for a girls' night because Ed wanted to go on a date with her, and she said she had a girls' night going on. And I guess when she was on her girls' night, somehow her ex showed up and they got in a big fight, and she ended up showing up to Big Ed's house in tears and upset. Ed was trying to comfort her, but at the same time, he was asking her questions, and he felt like he asked too many questions and pissed her off. He was asking her if she was still in communication with this guy, and how did he find her on her girls' night. Then Liz got mad and stormed off. This is Liz's husband that she ended up running into and getting in a fight with, that she was with and broke up with a couple months prior to her and Ed going out on dates. And Ed said he was nervous because he knows Liz's ex has been coming in the picture and back out the picture for a while now. And Ed was freaking out really bad, saying he may never ever hear from Liz again, and if him and Liz don't work out, then he is done dating altogether. I watched this with my man. He was saying he believes Ed's being a little over dramatic, and I do kind of feel like he's being a little over dramatic. It's kind of not like his place because they aren't dating yet, but I can understand him getting jealous, knowing that she's with her ex, and that kind of makes sense now because, she's been going out on dates with him but refused to kiss him, and it makes sense to me now because that would make sense, like, if she still kind of liked her ex and thought there was a chance of them getting back together, since they're broken up and he sees the show, then she can be like, well, we were broken up, we went on a date. And then, I feel like that may be why she's not kissing Ed, because he'll be like, well, you were kissing on him. She can be like, I never touched him. That's what I feel, but that's just my opinion. And I mean, Liz seems like a really nice girl, so I really hope she ends up going to the wedding with Ed, but I don't know. This man does not have very good luck when it comes to dating whatsoever. I do feel like Liz needs to be upfront with Ed and tell Ed if she's not over her ex, or she's even fantasizing about getting back with him, and she should not be dating someone if there's any part of her that is still thinking about getting back with her ex or is still stuck on her ex, because she's just going to be wasting anybody's time that she does date, because not all of her's in it, she's still hung up on her ex. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.